Alright guys, welcome back. So I got me a new diesel heater for ice camping and ice fishing this year. And we're going to open this up. I'm going to show you what we have in the box. Of course we're going to make a couple modifications to it because that's what I always do, and make it my own. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I'll show you how this runs and how we're going to run it. I'm going to see if it'll be powered off my power box that I just built and how long it'll run off that power box, if it will. And we're going to do a little experiment here, so stick around. Alright, we're opening up the box here, see what we got. Instructions. Nobody needs that where we're going. This one's supposed to be the Bluetooth model too, which is awesome. So hopefully we can figure that out and it can run off my phone off the Bluetooth, which would make it nice. So that's one thing I didn't like about my old one that I had. Well, I still have it. I use it here in the garage to heat the garage, but it didn't have the Bluetooth and it made it really hard to control the heat if it got hot. So this is the Vivor model. You can find these on eBay. I got this thing. I mean, it's the 8 kilowatt, so it's the bigger one. And I purchased this thing for $110. I'll put a link to it in the description of the video. But for the price of these things and what you're getting, you really can't beat it. I mean, if the thing goes out, it's hardly worth even trying to fix it. You just buy a new one. They're almost disposable. They just don't cost that much. So anyway, we're going to go about getting this thing set up. See what we got here in our parts box. Alright, we got our exhaust pipe, vent pipe, which I'll probably replace with a different one because these ones are really cheesy. Our air intake pipe there. Muffler, which on my other one I figured out the muffler pretty much makes no difference on the noise. The fuel pump on these is so loud, and that's one of the things I'm going to try to fix is the fuel pump. And I also like to put a fuel filter on them. That's the other thing, because they don't come with a fuel filter. And I don't know how critical that is, but I would imagine it's got some sort of injector or something injecting the fuel in, and if that got plugged, I can imagine that would be a bad deal. And then it's got this, which is your air filter, which isn't really much of a filter. It's just a screen to keep big stuff from coming in. And you can see on this one, like the screen doesn't even cover the whole thing. They are built, like I can move it up. I'll probably have to put some silicone or something on it to keep that up. But anyway, they're built fairly cheap, but they work, and they work well. So anyway, I will probably have to order a exhaust elbow before I can fire this thing up. So the exhaust and intake come out of these. So I'll probably have to mount this on something to lift it up just a little bit and then put it on there. I'm wondering if I could do some sort of a folding leg or something to stand it up off the ground. But anyway, we're going to get that figured out, and I'll be right back to you. Alright guys, so I lost one of my clips here. I'm not sure what happened where I was explaining what I was doing here. I'm putting a quiet fuel pump in it from Amazon because they always have that loud ticking noise. This fuel pump's supposed to be a lot quieter. So we're going to put it in and try it out, and I'll leave a link to it in the description if it's quieter and you think you might be interested. I'm also going to install a fuel filter in this as well, because I think it should have one just in case you get some crap in the tank. It'll filter it all out. But anyway, I'll let you watch the rest of the video. We should be good to go. I must not have a ton of pressure because the clamp doesn't hold it that tight. Guess it's enough. All right, first modification done. Now we got to move on to the fuel pump. I think we're going to put it on this other side because it looks like a perfect spot for it. Probably right here. That's what I'm going to shoot for. So all it is, if you look at it, that's the top of the box if you're interested, but I'll post a link in the description where I got this off Amazon. All you gotta do is type in diesel heater filter and it'll come up. They come with this, which you can take this top off and clean these, but they're so cheap I don't know why you wouldn't just buy a new one. But it has a little screen in here. It's not a real tight filter, but it must be enough. I don't know why they don't put them on there if they don't feel it's necessary or what, but I'm a car guy and I just feel like it's necessary. Maybe it's not, but that's what we're gonna do. That hose doesn't look like the right size, but it might just slide on there. They send these, and my other one had a hard plastic line that these went into, but this one's soft. I think it'll just go over the outside. I don't know if that'll even tighten down tight enough for that. It may not even need it with those. All right, guys, so I finished putting this fuel filter in, put the top back on, and now we're going to move on to doing the stand and finishing up the rest of the modifications on this. Lost this piece of footage too. There again, I'm not sure what happened. It's a GoPro, and but anyway, that's the explanation for you, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, guys, so we're back working on this diesel heater again. I'm going to build a stand for it to go on. What I'm hoping to do is put a couple pieces of this here angle iron along the bottom here. I might weld some between it too, depending on how strong it is. And then I'm hoping to make some fold down legs so that it'll sit this thing a little bit up off the ground, get it out of the snow and stuff when we're using it out for some winter camping or ice camping. But that's the plan. Alright, so the first thing we got to do is figure out how long we need these. Since I'm not going to use a tape measure, I'm just going to hold it up here and put a mark on it, and then I'm going to cut it. Okay, need 2 of those. So, right there. Alright, I'm going to cut 2 of these suckers. Alright, let's see how we did. So the plan is to bolt this to here, and then we'll hook legs to that. So this next thing we got to do, drill a couple holes in that so we can bolt it to the base of this. Alright, I got my Christmas tree bit here. I'm just gonna drill these out. Alright, we got our holes drilled. I'm going to bolt these things here, see if we got our holes drilled in the right spot. I know they're not perfect, but for what we're doing, I think it's going to work. We might cut those off after. We'll see if we get ambitious enough to do that. Okay, I'm going to bolt this front one on, then I'll come back and show you the next step. Alright guys, so this is the deal. My plan is to put one leg here, which will fold out like this. Then we'll put a stop here, and then we'll do the same thing on the inside. So our legs can be the same length, they'll just be offset just a little bit. And then we'll do the same on the back. I'm going to line this up right with the bottom of this. Drill my hole right there. Get it to quit moving around, I'll drill it. I'll drill this bit with the Christmas tree bit. It's a little sharper. Now we'll go through it with the other one. Now we have a pilot hole. Harbor Freight drill bits, they're not the best. Alright. Now we got to figure out, I'm thinking, if we just, might have to cut that off a bit right here, but if we weld something to here, then it'll stop that like there, and we'll be good. That's what we want. And we're going to cut the corner off this, probably like that, so that it'll miss that when it comes down. And we'll have a stop right here. It'll stop that. That should work. Alright, let's see if that'll work. I don't see why not. Probably can do where these bolts are long. If I kind of get the tension set on these legs where I want it, then I can put another nut on there and lock that down so it won't come off, but not have it so tight that I can't turn this. Oh, there you go, flipping all over the place. Yeah, so if we just put a stop here, this will come around, hit that, will be money. Alright, I'm going to get the other 3 legs put on, and then I'll be back. We'll build a stop. I may weld a piece of bar between there just to strengthen it, make it one complete stand, and then we'll pull it off, paint it, put it back on, we'll be good to go. Alright guys, so we got all 4 of the legs on. They're not sitting quite straight yet. The other thing I think I'm going to have to do is, I'll show you where my other piece of, so I'm going to take something and I'll weld it across here to have not necessarily this piece, but a piece. We'll weld it across here, maybe like that, and that'll stop the legs. Right here, we'll just weld it to the tops, not to the legs, and it'll also help steady them. And then on the bottoms, I think I'm going to take a piece and I will weld it in between them to steady these, because they want to move like this. So I'll steady those up, but I think it's going to work really good. It'll get that up off the ground so that it's not down in the ice and dirt, and make it a little more better more better to use. Anyway, easier to use. All right, so tomorrow we're going to get the welding done on it, and then we'll pull the base back off, paint it, and we'll be good to go. All right guys, so I've cut this. It's gonna go, I'm gonna weld that to here. Now if you don't have a welder, you could bolt something onto the bottom of this, like right here, like here before you welded this, and then you could do this without welding. But I happen to have a welder, so I'm going to weld it because it's going to make it easier. It's just to stop those legs from keeping going out. So we're going to do that, and then we'll stand it up and see how she sits. Alright, I'm going to do the other side. I just spot welded those. So I want to see how it sits, make sure I don't want to move it. I think that's going to work. This one looks like it's bent a little, but good. Put it forward just a bit. Like that. That's better. Okay, let's check out this other side now. I'm going to get it welded on, then I'll come back and weld these solid. Alright, so I didn't have another piece. The other piece, this is the last piece I've got, so I just done this. And then we'll just weld this to the end of it. Good enough for what we're doing. So first, I'm going to bring this up here. Weld that right there. And I'll move you over here. Yeah guys, look at that. I think that's going to do the job. It's pretty steady. So yeah, it's sitting a little unlevel right now because this leg's on the metal, that one's not, but I think it's going to do the job. We just got to get our exhaust hooked up. We're going to do our wiring and our intake, and once we have that done, we'll be ready to take this thing on a test flight. Alright guys, so this is my issue with this. It's got this fuse down here on the end, which it's a fuse, but it's not in any kind of a, like this is not a waterproof case at all. So what my plan is, find my other fuse here. I bought off of Amazon some of these, which is a waterproof case. It's got this that clips off. They're pretty tight. Might have to get a screwdriver to lift that up and get it off there. Or a pair of pliers. But anyway. So this comes off. You can see it's got this rubber seal around it. This cap goes on. fuse goes in there. So that's what we're going to use. What my plan is to put a bolt in here, bolt this right to the back of this thing, and put the fuse up here so it's not getting down in the water, all that kind of stuff. That'd work fine if you were in a camp or dry environment, but where I'm planning on taking this winter camping and ice camping, I don't want the fuse down there where it's going to get all wet. So I'm going to probably pop this cover off again and put this fuse on here. Alright, we got the cover off. And there is a hole that's already right here behind this sticker. So my plan is to poke a hole in that and just use the hole that's already there. All right, that should do the job. Now we just got to wire it in. All right, guys, we got the tape off there finally. That was a job. Some sticky stuff. So now we're gonna put this wire into here. Then our power wire will come off here. We'll put those two together. So I like to use these heat shrink connectors because then they're waterproof. Seem to stay on a little better. They're a little bit more of a pain than the regular ones to put on. You gotta heat them up, but I think they work better. All right, so if you remember, these are the plug-ins I'm gonna put on. I have on my power box I built that's gonna run this heater. I've already tested the power box on my other heater, and with two 20 amp hour batteries, lithium amp hour batteries, I'm getting about 10 to 11 hours of runtime out of it. That was with 3 starts. So if you only had 1 start, you'd get a little bit more time because the starts take a lot of power. Excuse me. So anyway, this plugs right into it. I'm going to put this here on the ends of this, and then I built this, which has a normal plug-in on it. So if I want to run it off that, I just plug this into here, and I have both connections. But this will plug right into my power box. That's why I'm putting this on there. Okay, I'm gonna heat shrink these, and then we'll wrap it up with some tape. All right, guys, I'm just gonna take some tape and wrap these up now. It's gonna be pretty exciting. All right, so we got it all wrapped up. One last thing, I got this insulated clamp here. I'm gonna put this right on the back here with a self-tapping screw. Turn that just a little. Like that. That way we won't be tugging on the wires. Keep everything up nice and tight there. And that's our plug-in. Like I say, I got this so we can plug into the end of it. Plug it into a regular socket. Pinched my finger. Idiot.
Freaking idiot.
Anyway, I'm gonna figure out what I need to do for the exhaust now. Alright, so on this exhaust, I got this elbow to put on it. Exhaust is going to run out here. I didn't want it to come out the other side because the fuel tank's there. I'm going to wrap it in some heat wrap. I think I'll bend it to come back, come up, and then I'll put another elbow so it's going straight out, except that's the intake. Maybe we should put it up there so it goes forward, up, shoots out that way. Or out this way. That's what we'll do. We'll put another, so this will come up. Let's see, where my elbow go? Move this out of our way. So this will come up this way, And then we'll put another elbow on here like that, so it shoots the exhaust off the side that way. I think that's the thing to do. So we don't want it back here because our air intake's back here and we don't want to be sucking diesel fumes in there. Then if we want to, we can put the muffler on the end of this. Alright guys, so I think what we're going to do is going to go through here up to the exhaust. We'll come up like this and then we'll have a bracket that holds this up. So I'm going to get those clamped on. Now one thing I do, I did this with my other one. You see how small and narrow this clamp is and how wide this one is? I went and bought some of these good clamps at the hardware store instead of using the cheap ones that came with it. Trust me, they're a lot better. They don't strip out. Kind of getting the basic idea of where we want it. Thinking just like that. We'll make a bracket to bolt to here to hold this. I'm gonna get something to go around this. Probably just a hose clamp and a little bar coming off. It'll hold it up there. So let me figure that out and I'll be back with you. Alright guys, so this is what I've come up with, is this piece of aluminum here, and I'll just bolt that to the front of the heater there, probably about there, and it'll hold that exhaust from flopping around. I can put a hose clamp or something around it too to hold it in there, which is what I'll do. Alright, so you can see how that's going to work. I'm going to put one more bolt in it right here. We may bend this over a little bit more, but we'll work that out once we get it wrapped up and everything. And then we'll figure out a way to clamp that in there. And this will hold the exhaust. And like I say, we'll get another elbow, and I'm just going to turn it out this way so it blows it away from the heater. Alright, we got her all bent where we need it. So that'll work. We're going to put our exhaust tape on it. I just got some of this header wrap from the auto parts store. I'm going to wrap that up. Just going to keep it from getting the sides of that heater too hot. I think it's got enough spacing that I don't think it would bother it anyway, but I don't want to take a chance, so we're going to wrap it in this. Alright, so I found my zip ties. They make these stainless steel zip ties you can get. Some of these kits with the header wrap come with it, and some of them don't. So I think we'll leave enough room on this that we can get the elbow on there. Cut this off. Just like so. Put this here. Zip that down so it won't come off. Just like so. Put a couple more of those ties on here and one down on this end. We'll be set. Alright, we're going to put this thing back in. Alright guys, so this is what I came up with. I put one of those metal zip ties around this. Then I've just put a hose clamp top and bottom to keep it from moving up and down. And I think that's going to work. I may want to just tweak that like that. And then I'm going to put the cover back on it. We got to do the intake. I got pieces coming for the heater hose there. I know a lot of these guys, I know a lot of them run these heaters inside their tent and run the exhaust out. It makes me nervous because if that exhaust ever came off or anything, it'd be a bad day for you. So I would just soon leave the heater outside the tent and plumb it inside if I can do it. Alright guys, so this is where we're at so far. Got the top put back on it. It's looking pretty good, I think. It's stable. I set it down on the ground, it sits level. This is going to be nice. Everybody's probably going to tell me this is too close and that I'm going to get fumes, but I don't think I will, because I'm going to put that elbow on there. Face it that way, and if I do, I'll get a longer pipe and we'll extend it out just a little bit. But I don't think it's going to be an issue as long as you point it into the wind the right direction. So anyway, that's as far as I can go because I'm waiting on more parts. I'm going to get the intake, or the outtake and the intake done, and then we'll be ready to paint it, and we'll be ready to fire this thing up. We got the old hound down here. He sits over there by the cat door waiting for the cats to come out, which they'll never come out because they smell him there. They did one time and they'll never do it again. And he wouldn't know what to do with one if he caught one anyway. He's scared of everything. But anyway, I'm going to get this front intake hooked up. There it is. Okay, so this is going to go here. I got another one of these clamps. Now these will hold up to the heat because what these are is they're made for turbo connections on cars and trucks, and they're silicone, so I don't think it'll be an issue of them holding up to the heat this is going to put out. So I'm going to tighten this thing up on here. Now I've gone from a 3-inch to a 4-inch on both of these, and the reason for that is I watched several videos where people said if they were running a longer hose, sometimes they would get an air reading if they didn't go to the bigger one. So I figured while I was doing it, why not just do it right, basically. So this is going to go in here, and then our vent hose will hook onto this. Alright guys, so we got this hooked up. What I ended up having to do, I have these which are for ducting, you know, to pinch it in. So I went around and pinched that, tapered it in like they do on the dryer vents. I forgot I had those at first, and then it went right on. So I think I'm going to try to figure out a way to hold this up, you know, so I don't have to take it off every time. That would be ideal, but we'll see how that goes. And the other thing, so that's done. I got one more of these coming for the back, and that'll go on the back side here. And then I have got to build a piece for the tent, and these will go in for one of the windows, and a piece I'll build, and then it'll go on here like that. So we'll put a clamp here and a clamp there, one of those quick ones, and maybe even just a zip tie. That might work too. But these will go on here, go into that board or whatever we decide to build. I'm thinking like that corrugated plastic stuff, that would probably work. Put some Velcro on it, stick it to the window, bolt these to them, and then these could just sit in them. And that'd give us our intake and our outtake. So you have two intakes on this. The one that comes out the bottom is for the combustion chamber. This one is what recirculates the air. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out of here, and then I got to take this top back off again, because I didn't think about this when I had it off. But I'm just going to clip these, and then this is going to go here and clamp to that heater in there, and then that will make it so we can plumb that into our tent so that we're getting warm air circulated back in. I tried this once in my tent without circulating it, and it didn't work so well, and I posted a video on it on my channel and said that, and everybody was like, oh, you need to circulate that inside the tent, it'll make so much difference. So I'm going to find out if it does, because yeah, see if that works. It makes a big difference. Hopefully it will, but this is pretty thin metal. I can just trim it with these side cuts. But I'm going to get the top off this now that I've cut this out, and then I'll show you how I'm going to hook that to the heater. Alright guys, so we got the cover off. This has got to go on here. I believe this plastic piece here will come off of there if I get a screwdriver behind it. So I'm gonna see if I can't get a screwdriver and see if that'll pop off there. Just a little bit of effort. Yeah, it's gonna come right off because that's gonna be in our way of what we're doing here. Maybe it's supposed to twist off. Looks like maybe it's supposed to like twist off. Yeah, it's supposed to twist off, I think. Yeah, like so. I think this is just to keep any large debris from going in there. But we're gonna have a big long hose on there, so we're not too worried about it. And this should fit on there. We're gonna have to cut this a bit over on this side. Alright guys, it took a bit of twisting and turning and we got it on there. Now I just got to figure out a way to get a clamp on there. Should be good. I'll show this to you. So yeah, we got her all buttoned up there. That's what it looks like on the outside. So our air intake, our air intake will hook here, and then that'll go up to the tent. Alright guys, so I got the top put back on. Had to replace the screws with these black ones that I had because going in and out so many times, some of them were starting to strip out because they're just going into that light sheet metal. There's no reason I should have to take ththose out, so we went from the M8s to an M10 screw, and now it's holding good and tight. So just be forewarned, if you take it off a lot, you might have to do the same. Hey guys, finishing up this heater tonight. We just got to do the combustion intake on it. So what I'm going to do is I've got, let's see, 2 of these elbows. This one's a little shorter. So one of these is going to come out of the heater down here where it comes out. Then I'll have a straight piece with this silicone hose. This will hook into there and it'll come out. And so what I'm hoping is that, I'll show you over here. I'll move you around here so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, get you down here where you can fix your peepers on it. So this is going to come through here, and then I'm just going to put a zip tie around this. And since this air filter, all the air comes down through here, should be fine with that. And then this will run over. Clamp a piece of this between the 2 elbows. I got another one of these. Since that's not heat, we don't have to worry about it melting, and that'll run from here to there. And we'll get this thing all set up. I may not even need a piece of this. I may be able just to hook the 2 elbows together, because this is longer than what I thought it was going to be. I just got this today. So yeah, I may be able to just put this between the 2 of them. I'm going to look and see. Alright, yeah, so I don't even think I'm going to need that other hose, because this will come here, and I'll just cut these off so I can splice them together. I'm going to have to cut a little bit off this end, probably an inch or so that this will sit up far enough to go out that. So it needs to be cut off probably about right here. We'll try about there. That may be a little long, but I'm going to try that and see if it works. And so let's see, probably, yeah, I'm thinking like here. This is much better than the intake that it comes with, because it's flexible. The other one gets smashed, you're done. Alright, I'm betting that'll work. Yeah, that's gonna go like that. you can see over here it's going to line up with that hole, and we'll just have to cut the one end of this so it'll come through here. Man, we're not even going to have to cut it, I don't think. It's going to line up perfect. We'll just put that splice in there. That's going to work out better than I'd planned. I thought I'd have to put a piece of hose between them, but it's going to work great. Yeah, look at that. That's going to work, I think. We just got to figure out a way to tie this up so it's not flopping around. It doesn't need much because it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty solid there. And I need to put a clamp on the filter right there. So, turn this way because it'll sit on here better. And we'll work on getting this thing tied up. But I don't see why that won't work. This hose will slide on here, go up to the tent. That hose go up to the tent. I may end up putting a muffler on this, but I have this one in my garage. You can probably hear it running right now. And honestly, the heater itself is louder than the exhaust. So I'm not sure that the muffler even really does anything. And I know people say, oh, you got to put this exhaust down so the moisture runs out. This thing gets hot enough. I'm not really worried about the moisture. It'll evaporate out. And it's got, you know, it slopes down here, so it'd settle there anyway. And as soon as you turn it on, it's gonna heat up and evaporate it. Not a big deal. Okay. I think we're gonna just drill a hole here and here maybe and put a zip tie around that. That's what I'm gonna go for. Alright guys, we got that all zip tied on there. I just drilled a hole here, one over there. Ran a zip tie through it. That's gonna do the job. Got intake, exhaust, everything's done. Next step, we got to go download the app because this thing has the Bluetooth on it. We're going to plug this into the power station, put some fuel in it, go through the priming steps, and we're going to fire this bad boy up and see if she works. Alright guys, so I've got the app downloaded. We're going to hold the start and see what happens. It's connecting. Start heating, okay. See what it does here. Got my garage doors shut, but if this starts up, I'll open the door so we have air. Thinking it's not primed. We probably need to prime it. I better find out how to do that, huh? Passwords 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Find out where to put this thing. Oh no, can't get it to do nothing now. Have to figure this out. Lost all power. Maybe we blew a fuse or something. Something happened with our power box here. Must have blown a fuse in here. No, I know what happened. Yeah, because I didn't write it on there yet. I have this one set up for a 5 amp fuse for my fish finder, and this one's for the 25. So I had it plugged into this one, which is set up for a 5 amp fuse, not a 25, and I blew that fuse. So I'm going to put a new fuse in there. Alright, let's try this again. Round 2. Let's see. Alright, we're connecting now. Try this one more time.
Start heating.
Alright, round 2 here. Let's see how it goes. You can turn it up to max Says it's ignition preparation. We'll see what it does. Smoke there. Must have fired. Yeah, it's getting warm exhaust. I don't know. Sound like it shut off. No, it's smoking again now. Maybe just the fuel pump quieted down. It's supposed to be a quiet fuel pump. We'll see, I guess. Yeah, she's trying to fire. I'm gonna have to open up that garage door here. It's gonna smoke us out. Yeah, she's going. Wow, if that fuel pump's that quiet, I'm gonna be way impressed. No, there goes the fuel pump. It's gonna go now, I hope. I think it just had to prime it, so it's taking a while this first time. This is the thing, guys, I'm curious about. Is, like I say, I don't think that this thing makes any difference. Maybe it does. I guess a little bit. I don't know if it's enough difference to hassle with having it on there. Maybe it is. It makes a bigger difference than I thought. I guess because I have my other one vented outside. So yeah, we'll probably put it on there after we let this initial burn off. We're getting some smoke off of this, the wrap I put around the exhaust. So I'm gonna go open the garage, let this thing run for about 20-25 minutes and burn everything off, and then I'll come back out and we'll shut it down. Alright guys, we've had this thing running for about 15 minutes. Nothing's smoking on it anymore. And it's got some, I can't hold my hand there for too long without moving it. We're going to try to shut this thing down. I'm going to try to do it with the app, see if it works. It worked to start it with the app, so I'm guessing the app will work to shut it down. It's one of my favorite features of this heater is that Bluetooth. Going to make all the difference in the tent, being able to adjust it from inside the tent. No, it says stop heating. It's going to do its thing. Yeah, the app's a good deal. I'm excited to use this setup. I think this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to get this thing out on the ice and do some camping. Maybe we'll even head out and just camp before the ice so we can see how it works. I just got to build the thing for the window of the tent, and once I do that, plumb these into it, we'll be all set up. So I can't wait to do that. We're going to do that, and next time you see this heater, we'll be out camping on the ice. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up and a like, and we'll see you on the next one.